Tom Homan is done playing nice with the sanctuary cities that defy ICE. Trump's border czar might be shipping up to Boston soon. That's in Massachusetts, Jesse.
Thank you.
As city leaders there refuse to help border agents enforce immigration laws.
I read a story last night. The police commissioner of Boston, you said you doubled down on not helping the law enforcement officers of ICE. I'm coming to Boston. I'm bringing hell with me. I looked at the numbers this morning. 9 child rapists that were in jail in Massachusetts. But rather than honoring an ICE detainer, released them back into the street. You're not a police commissioner. Take that badge off your chest, put it in the desk drawer. Because you became a politician, you forgot what it's like to be a cop.
Ooh, my goodness. But Democrat leaders in Massachusetts are vowing to wage war over Trump's illegal immigration crackdown. The trans sanctuary town near Boston is responding to Homan by posting, quote, "We will meet you with hell too." So, Dana, kind of a war of words, but he seems like he is going to war with deeds.
Right, and then you had this city councilwoman who basically said it was laughable. It says, we don't scare easily. That's what she's saying to Tom Homan. We had Corinne Hajar on today. She's an opinion writer for the Boston Globe. She's been doing meticulous work about all the different types of crimes and criminals that are there, including the child rapist. She's asked for documents. They send these documents over to her. They're all redacted. So you can't look at all the information of the crimes that were committed. And guess who they're committed against?
Other
illegal immigrants.
Right, who don't come forward.
So who are they protecting?
Good point. But, Jessica, only 9 child rapists out of a big city like that. Who cares, right?
Tiny little population.
Yes.
No, hands off our dreamers has a good ring to it. Hands off our child rapists does not.
Right.
And I understand that these city councils are going to have to look at the sanctuary laws in order to allow ICE into the prisons, because the reason the laws were designed this way was so that they couldn't pick up people who haven't had their day in court yet, that you have to actually be convicted of the crime versus just arrested for the crime and being held until you get your day in court. And there are even some people on the left who are saying, sorry, you should be allowed in. That's what Eric Adams is essentially saying. He wants to be able to open up Rikers to ICE as part of this little quid pro quo that perhaps he's engaging in order to
I didn't know there were actual sanctuary laws. They're actual
they're
laws.
approved.
Yeah,
that's
what happened. And that's why Eric Adams is having a hard time, because the city council.
Because the city council actually controls those laws, not
I
the
should
mayor.
read more. Kennedy.
Don't change.
I won't change, not for anyone. Kennedy, you were quite impressed by Homan. I could hear you sigh.
It really was.
Yeah.
Just he's a whole man. I mean, he's just he's not a half a man, he's a whole man. And he definitely means business. I think if you took those 9 child rapists and you put them in a halfway house next door to one of the city council members,
they would feel different.
I think that they would have a slightly different reaction. They would feel unsafe, and rightly so. So I think, what we need to do as a society is admit that our immigration laws, for better or worse, are not working, that it truly is a broken system. So if part of it is going to work, Democrats are going to have to come forward and say, yes, let's get rid of the worst people. I will grant them. Immigrants are amazing. They are the hardest working people. They make this country better. All of our ancestors were immigrants, either recent or, in generations past. The point is, this is why America is wonderful. America is not wonderful with Trendo Ragwa or MS-13 or a bunch of child rapists who disgustingly prey on these migrant children. So if they're not protecting the migrant children, that means they're also not protecting the kids who were born here. All of them have the right to be safe, but Democrats have to admit that the bad ones have to go. And if it's not going to be ICE, then they have to do it themselves, and they're not.
It just blows my mind that we're even having this conversation. It's like we're sitting here discussing why they haven't deported child rapists. I mean, it's nuts. I can understand a debate over illegal immigration, but we're not even there yet. We're talking about child rapists,
Well,
Jesse.
I'm not talking about child rapists. I'm talking about sexiness. If you were to do one of those charity events, Greg,
yes,
and you know how you can bid on a night with a bachelor, and the highest bidder gets to take home the bachelor one night, and it's these old women are $100. If you put,
I've never heard this.
it was on Groundhog Day. Haven't you seen that movie?
Okay.
And Kramer and Seinfeld, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you didn't see that episode?
Yes, I did.
Okay. If you would have Pete Hegseth up for auction,
Yes.
if you would have Tom Homan on stage and Stephen Miller, who do you think would get the most money?
Wow, I don't know if I want to play this game.
You played it in the green room.
I'm gonna go with Homan.
You're going with Homan. That's what he has, this understated masculinity about him.
What?
You were saying that you were threatened by them. Just then, you said you were threatened by him.
No.
I took that differently than threatened. You
I said that Pete would go.
Okay, you said
To the
Pete would go
highest
higher.
bidder. Yeah.
You also, in the green room, said we should extinguish city councils.
Yes.
You said city councils have actually been the tip of the spear for the communist takeover of this country.
I have said
And if
that.
we could just extinguish them,
Yes.
this would be a great republic.
Yes.
And then I said, we're a democracy. And you said, Jesse, we're a republic.
Yes.
And then I got bored.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like our viewers right now.
What happened to you over the weekend?
I don't want to talk about Boston.
I
I had a lot of bad experiences there in college.
Does anybody have good experiences when they visit Boston?
No, that's why I'm never visiting again.
Okay.